What's up, traders, and welcome back to the Bull Ring with another stock market update. So what's going on with SPY? Why is it crashing, or is it going to the moon? Let's check it out, guys. So we have, of course, a rising wedge, but now we have a rising wedge inside of a rising wedge. Now let's pretend for a second that this is going to play out the way a rising wedge plays out, and SPY does make it down here to the support on the original rising wedge. That's a $10 drop, 1.29%. Okay, 5 bars, 8 days. Well, actually now 8 days, guys, but we can fall and find support here again. Okay, so what happens with that? Okay, so at some point the stock market is just saying, you know what, screw technical analysis, we're going to do what we want to do, which is not cool if you are used to a traditional stock market like we are, where, hey, you go up, you come back down for a little bit, and then you go back up. All right, so we had an all-time high here, guys. Okay, you see that resistance line. Okay, and we went down. That was a pretty big fall. Okay, I think we did like a 5 or 6% correction. Okay, so now we come back up. Okay, and not only did we test, we just took off. We created a gap and we took off, and we said, hey, we are out of here, right? New all-time high right there. So we got an all-time high, and now we fell again. Okay, first time we came here, see this whole support area, new all-time high. Okay, and we came back down, same support area, guys. Okay, so now we came back and we beat the original resistance, okay, for that all-time high there around 532, and we started coming up, and we continued to go up until now we found resistance again, guys, and here it is, right in the 540 areas, 545, 544. Okay, and SPY continues to try to go up, but now it's actually finding support on the newest ascending wedge. Okay, so what's going to happen tomorrow on Monday? Okay, will this fall? I think it will. Okay, I think we're going to see a downturn, maybe not next week, but the week after. I'm going to show you why, guys. Okay, now remember, we've had 3 different times where we had all-time highs and then we corrected back down. So here's one of the things I like doing. Let's take the average of the first one down. Okay, and we said that was about 5%, sure enough. Okay, so now the second time we hit all-time high and we came back down, that was 2.65%. And then now if we split the difference and we say, okay, 2.65 and 5%, the average is going to be somewhere around 2.5 area. And sure enough, right, that's where that line lines up. See that? 2.4%. So will we fall? Yes, maybe not a lot, but if we do, this is the area to look at a reversal. Okay, now why do I think that we're gonna go down next week? Okay, because I already bought puts. Okay, that's not the only reason, but I did buy puts already, guys. Okay, they expire in 14 days because I want to see this develop. Now let's check out the RSI. Check that out. Look at how high that is. Okay, way over the 70 area. Okay, and all you have to do, guys, is go back to the history. When we hit this area, we came down. Okay, we hit the area, we went down, hit the area, went down, hit the area, went down, hit the area there, went down. Okay, now here's the cool part. On the weekly level, what do we got? And let's take a look at this. Let's make this nice and big so we can see what's really going on the weekly, guys. Okay, and this is the most important part if you are interested in what the market is going to do. We are currently here. The highest we've gone is 77, and that here, I know you're going to say, well, that one's higher. Yeah, that was 2018, guys. So that is about 6 years ago. So you always want to take the latest and greatest, and this is it right here. So can we go up here? Absolutely. We did it once before. Look at these areas. Generally, they were lower here, a little bit higher there, but the latest and greatest was this one. in August 2023, but here we overextended, okay, and now we are headed that way. So this is why I say we have maybe one more week of up and rise, and then I think we start pulling back a little bit. Okay, now how much are we going to pull back? I think we might do the same we did here. Look at that. Okay, so again, we can do 2.5% back down. Now if the market doesn't like what's going on with news and all that other stuff that always gets in the way, we can go lower. Okay, so SPY has about another week. Now it could start downturning next week, guys, so be on the lookout. Okay, if you believe in charts, okay, you already have puts like me. All right, now let's check out Nvidia. What is Nvidia up to? Okay, we know Nvidia is going to go boom and always keep going up, but we did have this. Let's just talk about what happened at the beginning. So Nvidia did come around the $97 area back in the day, okay, and it found resistance there so much that it pulled back all the way down to 76 and started to make its way up. Went across, came back up, across, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? Went through the original resistance here, here, and here, and then just got up here. Okay, and then we saw some resistance here, and then boom, again, right? Creating gaps, pulled back to the original resistance area, which is super bullish in my book, and then just made its way fighting and grinding through this resistance, and again came up, found new resistance, came back to the original, if you see that wick there, okay, and continued on its way up through the original resistance. And if you're gonna be bullish on a stock, guys, that's how you want to see your stock do this. You want to see your stock come back down and test, have a candle that closed, which it already did, and then you want to see it continue up. Now let's talk about what's really going on with Nvidia, because this could get very, very dangerous for some people. So I want you guys to be very diligent, and I want you to understand that this is not gonna keep going on. So let's get rid of that. I want to show you something that you need to pay attention to. Every time Nvidia has gone up, and this is true with most stocks, okay, this is what you want to see, and you're going to see a common denominator in every single resistance. And then when it went up, okay, we saw green candles. But one thing that we did not see here, okay, as we go up, you have one area, this one here, okay, where we didn't get a pullback candle that is red. Okay, check out these candles right here, red, 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 okay, and no red right there. Now as we continued up, okay, red candle for the pullback. So they had red days, okay, red candle, then you have a smaller red candle there. So we pulled back and we saw red days. Now no red candle there. Okay, what does that tell you? Will Nvidia pop up next week like they did here, or will they actually start to pull back and then retest going up? Okay, now here's the important part. Okay, they did this once, twice, 3 times, 4th time. Okay, usually that's how many times the stock will continue to hit resistance and then change a path. Okay, so it's been on a nice bull run, guys. Okay, all the analysts are saying that average is 13.25. Well, I'm sorry, I'm giving you the old price. So now it's $130 to $135. That's what the analysts are saying that Mr. or Mrs. Nvidia is going to go to. And look at where we're at. We're already there. We're already there. Now, here is the big deciding factor in my book. That's right, guys. We are overbought, okay? Way overbought. Now, can you continue to go up? with Nvidia. Absolutely, anything can happen. However, look at what happened when we got into this area and we are super hot green. Look at that indicator, okay? We can continue to go there. At some point, we're going to do this, okay? And then it came back up, super green. And then this time, okay, this time, it actually pulled back for a good amount, which was right before all the hype started with Nvidia. But now we're here. Nvidia is up, oof, hundreds of percents, okay? And this is telling me be careful going bullish for the next few weeks. Look, if you own shares, okay, I would not get out of my shares, okay? I wouldn't mind buying some puts, make some extra money while they pull back. But the big deciding factor to me, guys, is going to be if we look at the weekly, and we're going to pump this up so that you can see and have a great shot of it, okay? Look at that. Okay, now previously this area, we get to, let me mark this off. Okay, this is the original. Nvidia can get that high, and it did here, and it surpassed. Now look at how far away Nvidia is with the relative strength index. Now the relative strength index, okay, this is about a week's worth, okay, for it to get up here. It'll take about a week, okay, if it gets up there. Now, will it? Maybe. And this is why I'm saying with SPY, Nvidia, and everybody else is the same, guys, okay, about another week, okay, and then we will start seeing a pullback. Okay, if we don't see a pullback, that's even more scarier, because look at these RSIs. They're just way over. I mean, the strength in them is just super high. Once you get in the 90s, okay, look at your marker in the RSIs, okay? Once you get in the 90s, guys, you can see a big fall. So be careful. Look at that. Boom, okay? So this is the time to start evaluating, do I enter into a put, okay? It wouldn't hurt to have a little insurance if you own shares. That's just my opinion, okay? But this is what I see with Nvidia, guys, okay? Now, the rest of the market is doing just about the same thing. And let's take a look at Apple, because Apple had a great week. They had a lot of great news. If you guys remember the previous videos, right? We marked off our resistance line and how many times Apple has been in this area, whether it's the first line or second line, it found resistance. And then look at that, right? We just went boom, based off the news that they gave last week with their new AI options. So Apple is looking very bullish. Now, it did overextend, okay, and I had to put my Fibonacci on it, and you can see on the Fibonacci, guys, okay, our golden zone for it to come back down is going to be around the 202 area. Okay, so far Apple continues to fall. Can it rally next week? It probably will. Not sure if it's going to do it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but this is the expectation if you follow Fibonacci, okay? Now, if we look at the RSI on the weekly, again, okay, we are getting into that territory where we are very oversold, okay? And the last time they did that was in July 2023, June 2023, but they did pull back down. Now, this tells me they still have room. So again, maybe another week, okay? They're going to run for another week. And then after that, they start pulling back. Maybe they start pulling back midweek, who knows, okay? But there is a pullback due. You see, when we get in this area, there is a pullback due with all the stocks. So don't jump in calls because you had an amazing week and you just beat the market and it was bullish and you had amazing profits, okay? Keep an eye on the RSI, guys, okay? So everyone is doing the same thing. Microsoft, Amazon, you go look at all those guys, okay? The Magnificent Seven, they are all due for a pullback. So don't go call happy. Okay, if you have any questions, guys, you want me to look at other stocks, okay, take a look at the description. Not only do I have links, guys, if you want free stocks, yes, free stocks, okay? in the description. There's a link. Also, there is a number you can text. Let me know what stock you want me to look at for you. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to review one stock. There was a request. I got an email at the bull ring, and Lennar has earnings this week. And I got a request, and people want to know. Okay. What do you think, Coach of Lennar? So let me explain to you what I look at for earnings, guys, when I'm looking at the stock. First, I want to map out what is really going on with the stock. Okay, so for now, the stock has had a double top. Okay, that tells me that it is looking bearish, which we also see with my indicator. Okay, the cloud has turned red. Okay, it turned red here. They tried again and couldn't get past this area, so now they went bearish. So we are in a bearish mode now. This is a little bit more bearish than usual. I'm going to tell you why. You got a double top. Okay, in order for that double top to play out, this neckline right in here has to be crossed, and they're very close to crossing it. Okay, now the reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you're going to play a stock for earnings, that tells me that either you own shares or you want to own shares. So you need to know what the trend of the stock is. And for now, if this line is broken, okay, we're going to see a drop down to about the 127 area. Okay, so be careful if you're going to join, or sorry, if you're going to buy Lennar. If you're just going to play it for earnings, that's one thing. But if you're going to own it, it can make it back down here. Okay, so we're looking at right around this area. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and show some support there. I will mark that off in yellow. So if it makes it down there, it could bounce off of there. Okay, now other things I look at for earnings, okay, is I look at maybe the last 5 to 7 earnings, and I can see they've only had one where they didn't make it. Every earning has been just amazing. They hit expectations, even though the stock did pull back here, which is healthy. Let's check out what the actual pullback was, which was 21%, a little more than what I like. Okay, we only want to see about 10% pullback. Now we're starting to see a pullback up here because they are overextended. Okay, now what happens in earnings, okay, if the stock is going down and earnings is amazing and people buy it and then the stock pops up, okay, it's only a detour. The stock can continue, and most of the time will continue to go back to where it was going. Okay, so be careful with Lennar. Now on the daily, I also want to look at the RSI. Okay, if they are here with the RSI, okay, they just crossed under the 50, that tells me they can continue to go down to about the 30 area, which they've done in the past, and then they'll bounce up. So this tells me this could be temporary. Okay, now they have a bad earnings. Doesn't matter what we said here, people can dump the stock. Now, here's what you need to look at if you really want to understand the earnings. So we're going to go into the financials, and we're going to find out how have they done. Okay, so we have earnings here. Let me make this bigger so we can check it out. All right, so far, right, dividends have paid 11.38%. Okay, and we do have the actuals that we kind of covered already, where they've just exceeded expectations. All right. Right now, the technicals say it's a sell, and we covered that here because we know that we're bearish. The analysts are saying it's a buy. Now, when they say it's a buy, guys, they're talking about you're going to hold this thing for 1 to 5 years, okay? And now I'm going to come over and we're going to click on more financials, okay? And we want to look at how they've done, okay? One of the things you want to look at is you want to come over and look at the earnings just like we talked about. And there's a few numbers in here that need to stand out to you. So when we look at the actual reported, okay, and you're going to see that this earnings here, this is the reason that they went down, is because they actually estimated 4.87, okay, and they actually reported 4.55. And we go across the board, you see every other single time they just exceeded expectations. Okay, so this is earnings per share, and that's what you want to look at. If they're saying a number and they don't hit it, that tells you, hey, maybe not. Now this company looks pretty strong from this one sheet that I'm looking at, but let's go look at one more. And the one I will look at, guys, is you go all the way to the bottom and you see the free cash flow, okay, year over year growth. And you can see in Q3 2022 their cash flow went down by 10%. Okay, now they have 574 million here, which is not bad, but then all of a sudden they boomed and they had 2.75 billion in cash flow. Then that decreased, even though it was still a jump, okay, to 943%, okay, and so on and so on. You see they went from 2.7 billion, and then now they went down, and then they came back up. And look at this, okay, they are in negative, okay, meaning that their cash flow is going down, and they're down to $330 million. Now, why is that? What is going on with them? Did they invest the money? Are they going to see profits from the investments in the next 3 years? And that's when you start looking at, okay, numbers look good. I like most of them, but I have a question right here. So you're going to go listen to the actual earnings call, and you're going to look for the guidance that they're giving on this part. Okay, what is going on with the cash flow, guys? Okay, now remember, if you're just gonna play for the day, I understand that. Okay, then you know, if I'm gonna play Lennar for the day and I'm not interested in buying shares, then what I'll recommend is you come over to your indicators, guys, and you pull out your average to range and you say, okay, this is a $4 move. So for me personally, okay, they move $4 a day. I would not play strangle, okay, in this case, because what I see in the financials, I can say, maybe I would get a put. But then you also have the analyst rating saying that the 1 year price target over here to the right is 179. So the analysts expect them to be right above this red line here. So we'll put the tip of the arrow right at 179. Okay, that's where they think that they're gonna go. So if you wanted to buy this for a long, absolutely. So my personal opinion, would I buy some shares? Yes. After everything I just reviewed, I would probably only buy half a position or a third of a position before earnings, because if it does drop to here, I will buy another third. So you buy it in 3 parts, okay? 33%, 33, and 33. So I would buy my 33% here in case it rockets or comes down. If it comes up here, cool, I got a profit. I'll wait for a pullback, then I get the other 33 and then the other 33 on the way up. Or if it goes down, again, your second part is here, and then you probably grab your third and last part right in the middle, and then you just hold it until it gets up here. Again, you're still watching earnings and you're listening for guidance on what they're going to do. Okay, all right, guys, I hope this helps. Again, continue to send any requests you guys have on stocks. Okay, I'll help you out. All right, we'll check you out on the next video, guys.